You know ID in the town all day. ID in the SEA. You know ID in the town all day. ID in the SEA.
Hello and welcome to episode 503 of the fabulous Peltoncast, sponsored by our friends at Pagliacci Pizza. I'm your co-host, Kevin Pelton.
And I'm Tristan Carcino.
We're coming to you in separate locations this week. I'm in Seattle, Washington, home of the AL West champion Mariners.
And I'm coming to you from Renton, Washington, home of the Super Bowl 60. I forgot. It's been so long since we podcast. The Super Bowl 60 champion Seattle Seahawks.
So about that, apologies for no podcast last week. If you're not in the Discord and don't know, you traveled to LA, as we will talk about extensively after the pod. I'm confident we will talk about that. And you were leaving on Wednesday, so we had to record this on Tuesday, and then my power went out Tuesday morning and remained out for a full 24 hours. So there was no podcasting to be done on Tuesday.
Power remains the number one enemy of the Peltoncast.
I was trying to make is there someone a team whose nickname is Power?
Just imagine how good that podcast would have been, though.
Oh,
That's what I like
wow.
to do when we don't do it, or when it gets deleted sometimes. Those are always our best podcasts.
Well,
instead of apologies, what you mean to say is, you're welcome.
Yes, full page ad. Well, it gives us an extensive list of toasts this week, because we are going to toast to some of the things we didn't get to toast to last week, starting with the congratulations to Torrent star Hillary Knight, who became the all-time leading scorer for USA women's hockey in Olympic play with her game-tying goal late in the third period of the gold medal game of the Milano Cortina Olympics against rival Canada. The USA went on to win 2-1 in OT, giving Knight as team captain her second gold medal to go along with 3 silvers. And were also additional congratulations, because Knight's busy fortnight in Milano also included proposing to fiancée Brittany Bowe, an American speed skater. The Torrent was also represented on the USA roster by alternate captain Alex Carpenter, forward Hannah Bilka, and defender Caleb Barnes, while forward Julia Gosling won silver with Canada. No relation, I assume. Knight revealed this week, as part of the post-Olympic celebration, that she played on an MCL injury during the Olympics, which resulted in her going on long-term IR for the Torrent, but did set up her terrific appearance on SNL on Saturday night.
She was on SNL. Okay.
She was, for a second time. I hadn't realized that until I saw that on the gram, that she had been on in 2008 whatever year they won previously. I guess 2012 was when they won previously.
Okay.
A gold medal with her.
Did you watch that SNL, Connor Story?
I did.
What did you think?
It was very entertaining.
Okay. Was it the best one of the year? Are we happy?
I'm not much for rankings, but it was definitely
That's good. Grades mostly. It was a B+, you're saying? Got it.
Yeah. I'll award it the coveted B+. She was also courtside at Unrivaled, was having their semifinals of their playoff competition on Monday night in Brooklyn, and Hillary Knight and Brittany Bowe were courtside at that, so that was fun to see. Hanging out there with former Storm coach Noelle Quinn, who was coaching, unfortunately, her team with Dominique Malunga on it, lost in the semifinals. Congrats also to the Torrent, even with Hillary Knight City out, for setting a USA record for women's professional hockey with a sellout crowd of 17,000 plus after last Friday's return from the games. Sold out Climate Pledge Arena. It was very cool to see. I was hoping to maybe go to that one. Didn't work out, but plenty of other people did. Congrats to UW women's basketball's Savia Sellers, voted unanimously by coaches to the All Big Ten first team, while freshman Bryn McGoy was a unanimous pick for the All Freshman team. Congrats to Detlef Schrempf, whose number 22 jersey was retired by UW men's basketball at halftime of Saturday's loss to Wisconsin. So we talked about this previously when they announced that they were going to retire the jerseys for both Christian Velp and Detlef Schrempf this year, and obviously a well-deserved honor, and cool to see a lot of other Sonics in attendance, including Gary Payton, Sam Perkins were in the house for that one, supporting their longtime teammate.
Big Smooth was out for that one. Is he around at stuff often?
He's been around at some stuff. I forget where I saw him previously, but sometime not too long ago.
That's awesome. Does he live around here?
I don't think he lives here, but I think he might have a daughter who is here, is my recollection.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it was sort of a tribute to, like, the Sonics as well, given Detlef honestly had a better NBA career and a better Sonics career than he did even a very fine UW career. And staying on this front, happy trails to third Pelton brother Jason Hamilton, who's retiring as UW men's basketball radio analyst at the conclusion of his 20th fourth season on the Husky broadcast crew.
I'd feel like, yeah, Jason Hamilton really is kind of the voice of Husky basketball. I'm kind of sad to see him
He's
go.
a fixture, yeah. So this is the end of a long era. Was previously an assistant coach at UW after playing and setting the school record for the single game record for steals. I think he's still I guess he's probably not the record holder for assists because he transferred. But
do we know what he's doing after this, or what is the?
I mean, he's got his own business career independent of UW men's basketball. So
It may have just gotten in the way, the timing, or
yeah, I think it was
he
just
was
time.
so sick of watching UW men's basketball.
Oh no,
It's time to
Let's
retire.
not-
Honestly, I might have to
not
announce my
attribute that to
retirement.
Oh dear. I did not catch any of the Wisconsin games. We'll talk about
I
later.
don't think anybody. I would love to see like just how low rated that game was, or how low viewed. I guess not rated. The rating was 0.
By the way, I forgot to mention
Viewership must have been very low. Who do we think are candidates to take over this job, though?
I probably a former Husky who's still around in the area. I don't know who that might be. So there's not like a natural successor that immediately springs to mind. Eldridge Kasner, of course, is a former UW player who is involved in broadcasting, but he's primarily worked on the TV side with Big Ten Network. So
I mean, I think we could go a little. It's the people that come to mind are all still working in like the Quincy Pondexters, the Will Conroys, people like that.
I mean, I know that Isaiah Thomas is at the point where he'd want to travel that much, but he would be someone who's still around and still very involved with UW men's basketball. Nate Robinson too. Spencer Haas.
What's Mike Jensen up to?
It's a lot of travel though, so not sure you'd necessarily want to do that job. So, by the way, you should have said this is the Portland episode of the podcast, 503. Although sadly we don't really have any Portland related content. So, Blazers still dealing with that Denny Avdia injury. There are no Mariners hot takes this week, right?
No, I want to save them. We're saving Mariners hot takes for the season.
It's approaching.
Yeah.
Spring training well underway. World Baseball Classic starts Thursday. That's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, a lot of Mariners, as we've talked about, involved in that one. Prospects Cade Anderson and Ryan Sloan continue impressing on the mound in Cactus League play. Anderson struck out the side in his first appearance, while Sloan had a 1-2-3 inning with 10 strikes in 12 pitches. And
yeah, I'm really trying to do the math on how many aces there are right now, and the numbers are too high. Well, I think we're at 7 aces right now.
Counting? Can Logan Evans count while he's sidelined by injury?
No, Logan Evans not an ace right now.
Bryce Miller also dealing with an oblique injury at the moment, but not considered particularly serious. Just one of those things you want to be careful at this point.
I think we're at confidently 6 aces at the moment. The ace count. I mean, Cade Anderson, right? Slot him right in easily.
Obviously.
Ace, like no question.
Goes in
Ryan Sloan, we'll see, but like obviously the 4 aces, indisputable, no questions about that. I think the Mariners are at 6 aces heading into the season, though. It's a pretty good number.
That's an outstanding number. It's as many as the. Well, I guess they had 5 aces in 2023. Although the pitching was legitimately outstanding in 2023.
Well, you don't need more than 5 aces. It's a luxury.
Yes.
To have 6 to 7 aces. No, so I made a bold prediction about Cade Anderson coming up mid-season to help. Do we feel like that's not bold enough?
I mean, the specific thing was about him throwing like a shutout or something in his debut, because as usual, your bold predictions are actually 4 different predictions wrapped up into one. So it's sort of like when you're betting on a parlay, and even if Cade Anderson coming up mid-season is not a pretty low odds on that, not very long odds on that. You combine it with the other, tease it with the other, parlay it with the other factors involved, and then you get to a pretty bold prediction, I suppose.
You talked for so long just to be so wrong.
I
skimmed through all my Notes app apologies here and found my Notes app bold predictions. In August, left-handed pitcher Kate Anderson makes his major league debut to help solidify the Mariners' injured rotation. Nothing about his performance in there.
Oh, damn. You sure you didn't freestyle something? Spins a 3-hit shutout against the Cleveland Guardians with all 3 hits coming on in the infield and not a single hit.
That's not in there.
Travel into the outfield grass. No,
and finally, the NFL kickoff for Week 1 in 2026 will see the New England Patriots looking to avenge their loss in a Super Bowl rematch at Lumen Field. The Seahawks lost Super Bowl XL, but will win, look at this, LX 28-24 behind Super Bowl MVP DeMarcus Lawrence.
Wow.
So at least some of these things were right. The exact score would have been too bold.
It's weird. I don't know if you're going to get the bold prediction or not, because I don't think they're going to give this Seahawks-Patriots rematch in Week 1.
I'm at least getting partial credit here.
Of course. I guess the Seahawks, though, can't play the Rams or the 49ers because they're playing each other in Australia, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah.
So we are running out of Seahawks rivals. We are all out of teams they beat in the playoffs. So maybe it will be Seahawks Patriots.
Hold on, I'm pulling up their future schedule. Okay. Chiefs is a one that could happen.
That'd be
although they might be doing, I don't know, the Chiefs may be doing something. But yeah, if you look at the home schedule, Cardinals no way, Rams and Niners can't. It's really down to, I mean, as much as we all love Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, probably not going to be the Giants. Chargers, Bears is like, it would be a little bold to put the Bears in that slot.
It's plausible.
It would be an anointment of the Bears that I'm not sure if they've earned just yet. But
that's never happened before.
All respect to the Bears. So I really think it's maybe Cowboys probably just aren't good enough.
Did you see? I caught this on SportsCenter. Ben Johnson was at the Bulls game the other night and threatened to lift up his shirt and reveal the abs, but then he had another shirt on underneath.
Oh, it's one of those like tons of shirt bits. One of those gags.
Yes.
Do the thing, Ben Johnson. Come on.
It's like the time when Joey on Friends put on all the shirts to, I don't know, make some sort
all
of
Chandler's clothes, right?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I think it's Patriots or Chiefs is really what it's down to.
So this is the Mariners section. The other piece of Mariners news since we've last recorded, which this news happened a long time ago now, is that Mitch Garver is back as a non-roster invitee to battle for the backup catcher spot with Andrew Kinzer.
I heard you say Mitch Haniger, and I took a second to think about that, and I was like, yes, Mitch Garver. I was like, damn, Mitch Haniger's back again.
I mean, that might be fun if he was a non-roster invite.
I do not think it'll be fun. It would be fun.
Fair.
Some things you may think would be fun, but then they're not.
This is true. Let's get into the roundup, starting with the Seattle Kraken, who've won 2 in a row at home since returning from the Olympic break with 2 lopsided losses in the Midwest. This is starting a 6-game homestand in total for the Kraken, who are back up to 3rd in the Pacific, which would guarantee a playoff spot, 6th overall in the West, entering play on Tuesday night. Don't ask me what happened on Tuesday night. I'm not updating that in real time. Seattle Sounders have played twice since we last recorded. In the season, starting the season with a 2-0 win over the Colorado Rapids, with Paul Rothrock coming in for Jordan Morris in the opening 10 minutes and playing a crucial role in the opening win. Rothrock set up Albert Rushnak's opener in the 15th minute, scored his own in the 62nd minute as the Sounders doubled up Colorado in both XG and shots in a 2-0 win. Injuries were the downside of that. In addition to Morris leaving with a thigh injury in the earliest stages, newcomer Hassani Dotson left his Sounders debut on the edge of halftime with a head injury, although I think he was able to play last week, which is good news because that's a spot where the Sounders have limited depth. In that game last Saturday at Real Salt Lake, the Sounders were fairly hard done by in a 2-1 loss. RSL scored on its first 2 shots on goal, though they ended up with similar XG totals in a 2-1 loss, with Christian Roldan finding the back of the net for the Sounders, who have not won in Salt Lake since, I think, about 2002, long before they were in MLS. Saturday was the first of 5 consecutive MLS road games for the Sounders, interrupted by their CONCACAF Champions League match in Spokane, where they'll take on the Vancouver Whitecaps, who advanced in the play-in round of the the CONCACAF Champions League, so it'll be an all Cascadia clash in that one in Spokane. Sounders are at St. Louis SC on Saturday as they continue MLS play. Our UW women's basketball has wrapped up the Big Ten regular season since we last podcasted. They lost 82-67 at number 2 at UCLA, competitive but never threatening in that one, despite 19 points in 23 minutes off the bench from Bryn McGoy and 17 points from Avery Howell, who played all 40 minutes. Then came back home for senior day against Nebraska, and it was a heartbreaker. This was my first UW women's basketball game of the season in person. The Huskies rallied from an early 12-point deficit to take a 6-point lead with 4:15 left before the offense collapsed under the weight of a series of turnovers. The game was tied with 16 seconds left, but the Huskies went ahead on a Savia Sellers driving layup only for Britt Prince to answer at the other end with a pull-up three, and then 3 different Huskies missed shots that could have given them the win on the final possession as Nebraska snapped a 6-game losing streak that had all come against NCAA tournament teams. So that left the Huskies in need of a win Sunday at Oregon to get to 10 wins in Big Ten play and 20 wins on the season for the first time since 2017. And they managed it by completing a sweep of the Ducks. Oregon rallied this time from a 5-point deficit with 3:35 left to take a 69-67 lead inside the final 30 seconds. But Savia Sellers stepped up again to tie the game at 69 before missing a possible 3-point play. Huskies got a stop on defense, and Devin Coppinger was fouled with 5 seconds on the clock and made the second shot to give UW a 70-69 win in Eugene. That meant the Huskies finished 8th in the Big Ten and will play number 9 seed USC to open the Big Ten tournament on Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, a very appropriate time for 2 West Coast teams. The Huskies' lone game against USC in the regular season, they lost 59-50 at the Galen Center back in December. And Bart Torvik has the Trojans, despite being a game back in the standings, as the slight favorites at 55% to win this. USC led by Portland area native. This, I guess, is the only 503 content in this episode. Jazzy Davidson, who topped the team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks per game this season as a freshman, as either the number 1 or number 2 recruit in the country. Huskies will want to make Davidson a 3-point shooter. She shot 28% from beyond the arc on a team high 178 attempts. USC also starts Garfield product Malia Samuels. They head to Indianapolis on a 3-game losing streak, wrapping understandable losses at Ohio State and to UCLA around a shot, which finished undefeated in conference play, around a shocking one at Penn State a week ago. Probably not a huge impact on the Huskies seed either way, but certainly would be a nice one to get. The downside is the 8th seed. The winner of this one would advance to take on UCLA in the quarterfinals. So unlikely to be a real long run for the Huskies in the Big Ten tournament. They're holding steady, though, right now at a number 7 seed in ESPN's bracketology. And it is pretty important, I would say, for the same reason that you don't necessarily want to be in the 8-9 game in the Big Ten tournament because it means facing UCLA. Exact same situation, actually even worse situation if you drop to an 8 or a 9 seed in the NCAA tournament because it means facing, a number 1 seed, in that case on the road. And that your chances of pulling an upset and making the Sweet 16 is a 7 seed having to knock off a number 2 substantially easier.
Is that a thing that happens in the women's NCAA tournament? The 8s beating the 1s? Because it can happen in the men's tournament occasionally, but I feel like in the women's game, it's just not a thing that happens.
No, the combination of the fact that it is top heavier and the fact that it's not a neutral site that the number 1 seed gets to host makes it much more likely. Let me see if I can.
But it's extraordinarily rare for even those upsets to happen.
Number 1 seeds to lose before Sweet 16 of NCAA women's basketball tournament. It is odd because the women's game did have the first 16 over a 1 back in 1998 when Harvard took down Stanford at Maples Pavilion. It has happened. It did happen.
Harvard versus Stanford. Good God.
You didn't know who to root for.
I had the fish.
It did happen in 2023 a pair of times. Number 8 Ole Miss beat again Stanford as a number 1 seed 54-49. And then number 9 Miami took down number 1 Indiana in 2023. But those were the first two times that a 1 seed had lost prior to the Sweet 16 since 2006.
Okay.
So the odds are not great.
So stop giving Stanford number 1 seeds.
They've had number 1 seeds a lot of time. They have done better. There was
Are they good still, Stanford, or they've gotten worse, right?
They have gotten worse since Tara Vandiver's retirement, but
great news.
Beat the Huskies.
I love to hear it.
There have been both 2024 and 2023. We've seen 2 seeds advance by, or 7 lower seeds advance by beating the 2 seed.
I was talking to another baseball dad earlier today, and he said that he was from the South and he moved to the Bay Area for a while. And he was like, when we got there, they didn't know anything about college football. They had no idea what we were even talking about. He was like, I went to a Stanford game and the surcharge was more expensive than the ticket. And I was like, I like you, mister. You're all right by me.
Sadly, there were some Stanford fans there the one time we went to go see UW play at Stanford.
That's no more.
I definitely know more.
They've all been replaced with AI now. The thing they do in Palo Alto.
Let's see. They are 19 and 12 this season. So they probably are on the bubble.
We don't need to talk anymore about Stanford women's basketball.
Well, they beat the Huskies, so it would actually be helpful if they had a run through the ACC tournament. They are in the first 4 out right now, along with our former Pac-12 foe Utah, who the Huskies did beat earlier in non-conference play on the road. Are you to men's basketball?
Wait, hold
on. Oh man, that was very the Ben Affleck meme-esque.
That meme comes up so much. When I was in LA, that came up multiple times. I feel like it might
comes
be
up more in LA than New York. Well, there are the 2 Ben Affleck memes, because whenever I'm on a beach, I like to recreate the Ben Affleck looking out at the waves meme. That's just how
There's
I
like
roll.
A really famous Lil Wayne photo where he's like got like a red hat turned sideways and has his hand on his chin. And the person that I was with is like, that's like the most iconic music photo of all time. And I was like, obviously not true, but I really love the take.
You respect the take. Would you say the Springsteen cover album?
Born in the USA cover?
Yeah.
I mean, Abbey Road is probably the most iconic.
Yeah, that's gotta be.
Music photo of all time. I'm unsure if a record cover should count for that, because this is like a Wheezy press photo.
Right. Yes, it's not as obvious as an album cover, but still, when I think of that, that's what I think of.
I truly love the idea that any Lil Wayne photo could be the most iconic music photo of all time.
I'm trying to think of what the funniest response to this would be. It's Eddie Vedder holding the Vedder Cup.
Sure. I mean, Young Thug in the studio is also a very popular. When he's on the computer, like, have you seen this meme?
I think I probably have.
Where he's like in the studio and it's like he's like working on something. Lil Durk is in the background engaged with it. That's like a pretty popular one that comes up.
Yeah, it's a good one.
But the Ben Affleck one, I feel like that's a meme that just keeps on giving, to be honest. We've all felt it.
I mean, more all the time.
Yeah, especially as the Huskies keep playing basketball.
So they didn't win a game since we've last podcast, but they lost 64-60 at Maryland, then won 79-72 at Rutgers, and then the 90-73 loss Saturday at home against Wisconsin. I will say, like, look, the Huskies should not have won that game or even been competitive, in addition to the fact that Wisconsin has gotten a lot better since when we talked about this end of the season was, the schedule was so friendly for the Huskies down the stretch. I mean, they have gone in that span 3-5. Depending, that's not even counting I guess that is counting the Iowa game. Yeah. They've gone 3-5. But Wisconsin has won. Well, they had just lost at Oregon, but they previously in February won at Illinois and beat Michigan State, who are 2 top 10 KenPom teams. So they're pretty legit. And the Huskies played in that one in addition to obviously Desmond Claude and JJ Mandiquit, they also played without Frank Kepnong, who sent out his second consecutive game due to a lower body injury. Jacob Ignacevic suffered a foot injury in practice on Friday, and then Bryson Tucker was away from the team for personal reasons, all of which left the Huskies with just 7 scholarship players for that game. But still, the vibes, they are not good.
Yeah.
The level of interest.
Apologies to Detlef Schrempf.
Well, it's not his fault
No, that's why we're apologizing to him
for the team being
and
so
for
bad.
having to be celebrated. You know, at least the Sonics were good in the 90s. We can always remember that. They were doing some Let's Remember Some Years at Heck Ed on Saturday.
Well, wait, by the way, did you see that NBC was doing a 1995-96 theme on its broadcasts on Tuesday?
No.
I only caught a little bit of this, but they had the 1995-96 graphics on the score bug, which was fun to see. And like every time they flashed up like player stats, it was in the 95-96 style. So the fact that they chose that season in particular, obviously the season of record for the Sonics, even though somehow it's also 2004-05.
Mm-hmm.
So
95-96 is not the season of record is 04-05. 95-96 is the height, but
I could also make a case for 92-93 being the season of record.
I don't, for you and I as like adult people paying attention to every game. I guess I was paying attention to every game. 95-96 too.
I was employed by the team at that point, so yeah, I was paying attention to every game. 2007-08, maybe not as much.
I just feel like the 2005-2006 team was like it was the nexus of
04-05
or 04-05 Sonics basketball post Kemp and Payton era.
I mean, Damon's beloved Vladimir Radmanovic, sporting cornrows in the playoffs, Jerome James's iconic playoff run.
Danny Fortson was on that team too, right?
Peja Drobnyak was not on that team.
Oh, okay. Was it before he was here or after?
After. I don't know if he was taken in the expansion draft. Yeah, I think he was taken in the expansion draft ahead of that season.
Sad he missed it.
Absolutely. Sonics still have that was the Charlotte Bobcats at that point coming into the league. As the Hornets, they have not won a playoff series since, which means the Sonics still have a more recent playoff win than the Charlotte Hornets, which is truly amazing. Not a playoff game, but it's playoff series. Anyway,
we're still feeling good, right? Trending, still feeling
good.
Okay.
So the Huskies wrap up they have senior night on Wednesday against USC, where they will honor some players who were here for a short time. I don't think Desmond Claude will be participating in the ceremonies at this point. I guess Frank Kepnong won't because he potentially has another season of eligibility, which would leave Jacob Ignacevic and Kimari Peterson as fifth-year transfers as the honorees for that one.
They will immediately become names we will remember at some point.
Oh, I can't wait to remember those names.
Yeah, these are guys that we're going to remember, and I think that's an important distinction for these players.
There's no greater tribute that you can earn. I mean, yes, having your jersey retired like Detlef Schrempf is nice, but being a guy whose name is remembered,
yeah.
They
entered into Justin Wilcox territory. Oh, Tom Green. That's a legend.
CJ Wilcox.
Sorry. I meant Justin Holiday.
That's very funny. That it wasn't even the Husky that I guessed that you were.
No,
saying.
Well, it's a combination of, and then it was also defensive coordinator Justin Wilcox.
What's Justin Wilcox up to now? He got fired, right?
He did get fired, famously. Tosh Lupoy is their head coach.
Oh, that is true. Speaking of guys to remember.
Yeah.
Should that just be the podcast? Should we just remember some guys at all times?
Yes, it should. This time of year. And then hot takes about quality of cities.
Justin Wilcox doing nothing at the moment. Just hanging out.
I'm sure he's doing something, doing nothing. Roasted. Justin Wilcox catching strays on the Peltoncast. All I did was missay his name, and then all of a sudden it's just like, bow, Justin Wilcox.
Just doesn't Curly have a job?
Just doing nothing.
Look, we should all aspire to be doing nothing.
No, honestly, just literally today I was like, I'm not gonna say what I said, but I'll say it in a different way. Just like, do you ever just like really envy dogs?
Yes.
I have to do the slightest bit of work, the mildest bit of work, and all of a sudden I'm like, you know who has it great? Dogs, cats. They've just got it good. Just looking at them, being like, fuck. I'm over here doing the slightest bit of work. You're doing nothing.
And just relaxing even after you do the slightest amount of energy.
Yeah, we're gonna say the same thing about Justin Wilcox. You ever just envy Justin Wilcox just doing fucking nothing? Sure, he's still getting paid too.
I would assume he is. I think that's why he's not taking another job at the moment. All right. You know who's doing something?
Who's that?
UW softball.
Oh, are we done with Husky basketball?
Do we have more?
So where do we care about the Big Ten tournament?
No.
Okay, cool.
The Huskies will make it this year.
They're
guaranteed to make it because all the teams.
True.
It is not the case on the women's side where only the top 15 made it.
Really look at the teams that are below them, and I got one question: the fuck y'all been doing? Because I'm just like, how could there be this many teams that are worse than the Huskies? Because I've seen them,
but they're still not that bad. Like they dropped 6 spots in the rankings, in the KenPom rankings.
I mean, USC gets a rating of yikes, so
yeah, they're substantially worse.
I think that is who the Huskies, as of today, that's who they play in the first round of the Big Ten tournament, I believe.
Oh, that's way too much work for me to figure out what the 18-team Big Ten tournament.
Well, I could tell you the schedule right here. It's the number 12 seed versus the number 13 seed. And I'm pretty sure USC is 12 and UW is 13. So it wasn't that much work.
I mean, Minnesota and USC are currently tied at 7-11 and 11 and projected to both finish 8 and 12. So I guess the Huskies will increase their chances of that by beating USC when they host them on Senior Day on Wednesday night.
So they would then be the 12 seed and USC would be the 13 seed?
Not necessarily, but it would make it less likely that USC would be the 11 seed and that they would instead play a Minnesota team that they did beat at home 69-57 on Valentine's Day.
But then the next game they play, it's a top 5 team. If they are those seeds, all of a sudden they're playing most likely Purdue, but one of Purdue or Illinois or somebody like that, maybe Wisconsin again. And it will be good
luck
on
with
the
all
Husky
that
basketball season.
Yeah. You know, the sooner that we can begin looking ahead to next year, the sooner that we can begin transacting, probably the better.
Oh, the transact's going to be fun. We're going to get our hopes up. I can't wait.
It's never gone wrong for UW men's basketball. They finished the season at Oregon on Saturday. A rough year for the Ducks. They did, as we mentioned, manage to beat Wisconsin at home. They also beat this USC team on the road, but they are 4-15 in Big Ten play. And Nate Biddle did come back, so that's good news for them. But Jackson Shellstad, their point guard, remains sidelined.
This is the only silver lining to this entire college basketball season.
At least Oregon is also bad.
Yeah. It's funny, like I saw people on the Discord being like, why do we watch college basketball? And I was like, oh, we've been asking this question for decades. Literally.
I mean, this is true, but also the answer at that point was we don't.
Yeah.
At least.
Well, the answer at this point is also we don't.
No, I'm saying at that point we were still watching UW men's college basketball. I think this is the most tuned out that I have been on the UW men in a while.
Since when? I've been more tuned out than this, but
I don't know.
I know the entire roster right now, and there have been times that I didn't.
Yeah, you're not as tuned out, but I'm pretty tuned out, and it might be since 1999.
Oh my god.
That's plausible.
Oh man, that is a long time.
That is a long time.
Were we tuned out in 1999? I thought we were pretty tuned in. Was Thank You Carey on that team?
Thank You Carey was on that team.
That's a guy to remember right there.
the Thank You Carey Dan Dickow backcourt.
Don't say that name in front of
me.
Oh man, 1999. We were checked in.
Oh no, you're right.
1999 is Michael Johnson.
1999 is the Zerbiak year. 1999-2000 when they went 9-20 and 5-13 in conference play. The year before, I arrived on campus and got my student season tickets, is what I'm thinking of. A team that ranked 214th in Ken Palm in adjusted offensive efficiency and shot 43% on twos.
Okay, so 2000, 2001 is the year. I mean, I still
No,
Phalo
99,
Green.
2000.
No, 99, 2000 we established is we like them.
No,
That's the Shootin' Luton Thank You Carry team.
I mean, Dion Luton was still on that team. Yes, but
You're
everybody.
talking about the 2000, 2001 team.
No, the 2001
okay.
team, I was
99,
there.
2000 was Shootin' Luton Thank You Carry. This team was just bad, even with these players.
Because Donald Watson, Todd McCullough were gone.
And then 2000, you got to, because I remember in the
I mean, obviously, I remember all those players because I watched them the next year. But did I watch them during this season?
Freshman Curtis Allen. It's funny because I like only remember Curtis Allen being like the old guy on the team. I do not remember the like young Curtis Allen.
The lone senior celebrated on senior day in 2004 is the Huskies beat. Wait for it. Number 1 Stanford.
Oh my God. I mean, one of the best days of all time.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Curtis Allen was the same 4 years at UW as I was. So yeah, certainly a soft spot in my heart. But and again,
I love Curtis Allen. There's
like,
no going back once you've run with the pack right there on my ceiling.
Yes, I know all the players on the 99 2000 team other than, like some of the walk-ons who didn't factor in because either they were on the previous year's team that was good and I did care about, or they were on the next year's team that was bad, but I still cared about it anyway. Like, do I have deep phthalo green feelings to this day? And, wonder what would have been if Marlon Shelton hadn't torn his ACL? Like,
Was
yes,
it Marlon
obviously.
Shelton? There was somebody who was like really highly recruited.
Michael Johnson was the touted local product from Ballard High School. Michael Johnson, who I believe visited the team at a shoot around earlier this year on the road somewhere in Big Ten country.
Huh. I mean, that poster that I had on my ceiling would have been like
also,
Nate Robinson, Brandon Roy, Will Conroy, Bobby Jones, Trey Simmons, and Curtis Allen or something like that.
Probably Allen was on the poster as a senior. Yeah.
No, Curtis Allen definitely was on it. I know that he was. The ones that I'm not sure if it was those other 4, but I think it was. That is a stacked group of players. Yeah. And I'm sure it's still on the ceiling in Jane's house.
I don't think it is, sadly.
Really? So there was going back.
I'm not seeing. Wow, there was. I'm not seeing this on eBay. I'm only seeing a 2004-05 Unleashed UW.
Also, the like bench was all fun. I mean, players who you never want to see in the game, but Brandon Burmeister, Hans Gasser, Zane Potter.
Yeah. Look, you don't have to sell me on the 2003-04. UW
Mike Jensen's from Covington. Look at that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I don't think I knew that he was from Covington.
I think it was in Covington that he there's a women's running with the pack poster from that season featuring Juliana Mendiola. Along with presumably like somewhere on the Gioconda.
40% chance that my child has struck out Mike Jensen's child.
Oh, I think that's conservative. We know that Mike Johnson's son has played flag football on the same fields at the same time as Luca.
Has he?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
I guess
he wasn't on the team with Jamal Crawford's son?
Mike Jensen's?
I'm pretty sure that was a thing, wasn't it?
I don't think Luca actually has. I don't think his kid actually plays baseball, but I was like, I mean, they're probably the same age, right?
But it was
very, very
I
close.
I believe it was in Covington that Mike Jensen stole the beer that during his senior year of high school. Do you not remember this story?
Stealing some beer in Covington. I only remember him as my roommate.
Not your roommate, technically.
Well, my neighbor, I guess. Yeah, not roommate. I remember him as my neighbor. Didn't Chris live in the same floor as Brandon Burmeister?
I don't remember this. Am I misremembering this Mike Jensen story? Am I slandering Mike Jensen? I don't mean to slander Mike Jensen.
Chris lived on the same floor as the white safety that UW had from Montana.
Jimmy Newell. Right?
No, I don't think it was Jimmy Newell. I think it was a different dude. Jimmy Newell was like pretty highly rated.
Greg Carruthers?
Yes. I think, maybe it was Greg Carruthers. Yeah, Jimmy Newell's from Port Orchard. This dude is definitely from Montana.
Huh. Okay, we're gonna need some.
Yeah, it was Greg Carruthers. He's from Montana.
Okay, I thought so. We should, while we're here, mention
we should mention the 2000s.
So Mike Jensen was in high school when he was arrested for stealing beer, but it was from a store in Linden, which not anywhere near Covington.
In Linden, he thought the beer was free up there.
You know what? I think it's fair. They were in there for a holiday tournament. So should we talk about Husky softball?
Yeah, absolutely, we should.
So it was a disappointing weekend for the Huskies at the Mary Nutter Classic as they went 3-3 with lopsided losses to number 22 South
How
Carolina.
often are they playing the Mary Nutter Classic? I feel like they're doing this all the time.
It's once a year. They lost that one 8-1 and 15-2 in 5 innings to number 4 Oklahoma, along with an unexpected loss to Loyola Marymount in the final game on Sunday. But the Huskies rallied to go 5-0 in San Diego last weekend against host San Diego State, Cal Poly, and CSU Northridge. They're up to number 22 in the ESPN.com USA softball rankings, fourth among Big Ten teams. They are currently hosting Seattle U at Husky Softball Stadium in their first home game of the season, up 8-3 in the bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, they
with
are.
A chance to run rule the Red Hawks, and then will stay home to open Big Ten play this weekend against Northwestern. Our UW football NFL Combine last week, strong showings by the cornerback duo of Takario Davis and Ephesians Prysock.
Those Takario numbers, I was like,
Davis ran a 4.4140, Prysock a 4.45. If you look at relative athletic score, which we like to use, sort of the successor to the 3 Sigma athlete from Third Pelton Brothers, Zach Whitman, Prysock a 9.9 relative athletic score, Davis 9.76, putting them both among the top 6 cornerbacks in this year's class.
wait, hold on. I want to see if the patent where he has Takario in his.
On the Seahawks top 100.
Not in the top 150. I'm a little surprised by that. I definitely thought, oh, no, he does in the top 64. Okay. I mean, I don't know if I boldly predicted this, but like, I get the feeling that they like Takario Davis.
I mean,
he looks like an NFL player. And with that kind of speed, he's going to be a ball player. Stonks are up for Takario Davis.
Well, we'll have to. This sort of ties into if we want to transition into the Seahawks discussion here and free agency, because obviously what happens to the Seahawks in free agency is going to affect their likelihood of drafting a corner. The legal tampering period begins next Monday before the new league year begins next Wednesday.
I don't like the term legal tampering period. Can't they just call? I think they actually changed the name too, didn't they?
Did they?
I'm pretty sure they call it the early negotiation period.
I mean, that might be like what's in the CBA. But people still call it the legal tampering period.
Those are oxymorons.
I agree.
I feel like if you told Jed Bartlett about that, he would not be happy. Yeah. Patton also has Ephesians in the top 100 corner. I mean, like, there's a lot of Huskies littered throughout here, and those numbers were definitely pretty impressive to me.
Yeah, Denzel Boston and Jonah Coleman didn't have relative athletic scores because they didn't do all the testing at the combine. But
Denzel, I think, is looking great as far as being a top 20 pick.
Wait, what did Denzel Boston? There was something about his hidden talent at the combine. Did you see this?
No.
Okay.
Or maybe I did, but I don't remember.
He skipped most combine testing. Okay.
Well, that's great podcasting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you see that thing? No. Well, I don't remember it. So, anyway.
I thought I saw something, but maybe I didn't.
500 episodes, baby.
Much like UW men's basketball. Anyways.
That's sorry, we got derailed by a power outage last week. So. What could you expect? Power outages. Human interest stories we don't recall.
Seahawks officially did not use their franchise or transition tags, as Adam Schefter had previously reported. All right, let's look at their key unrestricted free agents with their rank in the ESPN Top 100 from Matt Bowen. Number 11, Reek Woolen, checking in, is the top Seahawks free agent. You seem convinced the Seahawks are not going to bring him back.
0% chance.
we got to get Mike Sean on and do.
I was going to say, yeah, when are we going to do this? Are we doing this ourselves?
I don't know. We probably should not have waited to do it during the legal tampering period, because Mike Sean might be a little busy next week.
Should we do percentage chances right now?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, put me down as a 0.
I'm saying 33%.
Okay.
Ken Walker the third, number 15 in those rankings, untagged.
I think it's pretty high. I'm going to go 90% that he's back.
90%. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 65%. Rashid Shaheed, number 23.
40% chance that he's back.
Oh, I'm higher on that.
Really?
Let's say 60%.
Okay.
Number 26, Edge Boye Mafe.
25% chance that he's back.
I'm going 20%. I think this is a spot the Seahawks feel like they can draft. Number 43, safety Kobe Bryant.
I think 75% chance.
I'm going 85%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I just don't think the market is going to be there for someone to pay him more than they're willing to pay, especially based on some of the guys we think they're letting walk. Cornerback Josh Jobe, number 78.
I think also 75% chance.
I'm going 70%. Yeah, so if they lose one of those cornerbacks, it certainly makes it much more likely that they use one of their handful of draft picks.
One of the quarterbacks being Reek or Josh Jobe.
Yes.
Okay.
Because obviously you would still have Devin Witherspoon, but and they don't necessarily play Devin Witherspoon in the slot as much as they used to with Nick Emanwarri's emergence in that position, but they still like to play the dime, package and get all of those guys on the field together. So I do think that they will probably want to draft a corner if they lose them both, or if they lose either of them, I should say. If they lost them both, then all of a sudden it would become probably your biggest need, I guess I would say. Linebacker Drake Thomas, the most prominent restricted free agent for the Seahawks. Those tenders, I'm not sure when they're due. There was a report today that Jake Bobo will not be tendered, which makes sense when you realize that the lowest RFA tender is $3.5 million. Just doesn't really make sense. Drake Thomas is kind of borderline at that point, but he did start most of last season.
So the Seahawks head into the season with some of the lowest draft capital of any team. They still have their high-end picks, though.
I don't know if I'd say that. They just don't have like the volume of picks. And so that's the sort of thing where you can compensate by trading down.
They're almost certainly going to trade out of that first round pick. I would be very, very surprised if they didn't trade out of that first round pick. Obviously that's, one of the things about winning the Super Bowl is you have worse picks after.
One of my least favorite things about
shame.
winning the Super Bowl.
A shame that we happen to do every so often, every 10 years or so. But I think they're going to end up with a couple of picks in that territory. They're going to end up with some later picks. It's kind of just like they have to really prioritize what positions they care about in this draft because they're not going to be able to get a huge volume of players in.
I mean, what I would say about John Schneider is he does not like being in a situation where they go too long without a draft pick. And the other thing we know about, the Seahawks front office, their philosophy that there are only, like 20 first round caliber players in a draft with 32 picks, like when they traded down a lot was when they were in this kind of spot and felt like, this player is not a first round value on our board. So let's trade out of this and pick up some, additional picks that way. So all of that leads to the likelihood of them trading down.
On the free agents, I think the number is going to be high for Reek. And the Seahawks are going to be looking at the kind of money that they have to spend in the future to extend some of these players. I also just think Mike McDonald's kind of done with him overall. Like, I don't see the Seahawks being, even if the number weren't as high, I still think they might not bring Reek back. Obviously, there is a dollar amount that makes sense, but I just don't think he really fits into their plans. In the same way that on the flip side, Kobe Bryant and Josh Jobe, both players who they're able to plug in, play consistently good football throughout the season and feel like Mike McDonald guys at this point. So I think they'll take whatever measure. It's basically kind of like a choice between those two players or Reek. And I think they're going to let Reek walk. On Ken Walker, it's just a tough pill to swallow. And if it's an extra couple of million more than they want to spend, the good part about having a running back who just won Super Bowl MVP is that the running back number isn't that high.
I mean, that would have been the best part, I think, about using the franchise tag on him. I don't think
The
fact that they
franchise number is
decided-
pretty high.
It's pretty high, but it's also a 1-year commitment. I don't
I
think
bet
that
it'll be the type of deal that is actually a 1-year commitment, maybe a 2-year commitment.
I mean, that's probably true, but the tag would definitionally be no strings after year one. So I do think that there's still likely to bring him back, but is there a team that might just blow them out of the water with a monster offer? It's plausible to me. So
I don't really see it. I feel like they are going to be competing with other teams are going to want Ken Walker, but
without question,
to find a place where the number is high enough that the Seahawks are not going to be able to match it, and I'm sure he wants to come back. So if it's a number that's close or the same, I think he ends up coming back. That's basically like, I mean, when did the Seahawks had a player play on the franchise tag? I don't think they have in John Schneider's tenure.
it was the kicker, Lindo Mare.
He played on the franchise tag for a year.
I believe he did.
Okay. Yes, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they didn't do that. Boye Mafe, yeah, I think you're right that they feel like they can upgrade. Obviously, they just
I don't know if they feel that
draft
they
capital.
can upgrade. I think it's we can go cheaper without sacrificing.
Yes, they're going to draft an edge at some point in this draft, a player who kind of fits that profile that Boye Mafe brought.
Yeah.
I also think they will draft a cornerback too, though.
I mean, probably, yeah. I mean, I do think they will. In all likelihood.
I mean, fortunately, the line is pretty set. We're not talking. Josh Jones is the only offensive lineman free agent right now.
Yes.
And they're not having to completely rebuild the offensive line for the first time in an eternity. And so I do think that gives them a little bit more flexibility in this draft to go out and get other positions.
All right, other Seahawks news. A lot of this feels like ancient history at this point. The Allen Trust did make it official. The Seahawks are for sale, with an estimated timeline of the 2026 offseason, which implies that they think that they won't have a deal in place by the start, or may at the earliest would have a deal in place by the start of the regular season. We sort of talked about this when it was first reported. I think there's a lot of there's a lot of dooming among Seahawks fans, and particularly in relation to famous people. The thing is, there's a lot of people with money in the world, and more of them are unfamous than are famous. So the odds of this person buying the Seahawks being these famous people you think it will be, are not as high as you think.
I agree with all that information.
Seahawks hired Northern Illinois head coach Thomas Hammock is their running back coach and senior offensive assistant after he previously interviewed for the offensive coordinator job. That running back coach position was open after Kennedy Polamalu left the team mid-season. Hammock was the head coach at his alma mater since 2019, previously coached running backs for the Ravens from 2014 through 2018, overlapping with Mike McDonald in Baltimore. Hammock was the MAC Coach of the Year in 2021, and ESPN's Adam Rittenberg reported that to get him to leave that head coaching job, that Hammock is, quote, expected to become the NFL's highest paid running back coach.
Sure. I mean, I feel like that's pretty good credentials, having been a head coach for 7 years at this point. Obviously looking to basically, it's sort of not like a change of profession necessarily, but he's looking to get on a different trajectory where it feels like at Northern Illinois, he wasn't gonna get out of there. And sometimes you take another job that's lower to put yourself on the trajectory for the job that you want, which I would assume is probably offensive coordinator at some point. Yeah,
that's the next step. Yeah, for sure. Seahawks also promoted Justin Outen to run game coordinator after he served last season as run game specialist and assistant offensive line coach. Sort of expected to get a promotion after the Seahawks denied him the opportunity to interview with the Raiders and join the group of assistant coaches joining Clint Kubiak there. Last bit of news, the Seahawks tendered George Holani and Ty Akata as exclusive rights free agents, meaning they can negotiate only with the Seahawks. So there we go.
All right. I kind of like Thomas Hammock. I'm kind of down for it. Yeah. I know I've definitely seen some interviews with him pop up, and it's kind of funny seeing him go from head coach. I think he's been pretty outspoken to being the running backs coach, like leaving his alma mater to be the running backs coach. It's kind of like, if you're going to go anywhere, why not the team that just won the Super Bowl and had a running back as Super Bowl MVP? That's a pretty good job overall.
Indeed, it is. So by this time next week, we'll know a lot about the state of the Seahawks offseason in free agency, barring a power outage.
Do you find yourself not caring about free agency really at all? Like, I
It
care about it
definitely is like
to the
hard to get
slightest
as
amount.
worked up. I mean, I don't know. It just like people will get upset about certain things about the Seahawks, and it's like, I don't know, man. They already won the Super Bowl. Like,
Yeah.
like with the 2013, I don't. Obviously, Peltoncast Golden Rule. I don't want to say that no matter what happens in the next 5 years, I'm going to be happy because the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. But what I will say is, like, with the Legion of Boom team, it felt like there was more for them to accomplish even after they won a Super Bowl. Like, historical greatness was what that team was chasing. This team certainly has the ability to do that, but it doesn't feel to me like they need to because this championship was so unexpected.
I think they do have historical greatness. I think they already were historically great.
But
But
there's a difference between a historically great run and a historically great season.
I just kind of feel like a lot of the players are just fine who are entering free agency. Even seeing the name, like there are good players who are free agents, but it's a little bit more of, it's not even NIL, right? Like there's a lot of talk about NIL. You should basically be finishing your team with those types of players. There are better players in the transfer portal than there are in NFL free agency right now. And it's a little bit just like, I don't, teams' futures are going to be changed because of this, but not in the ways that maybe we can even predict or drastically, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you remember us pouring over who's that offensive lineman who signed with the Vikings last year?
The fact that I can't remember his name
Or
shows
maybe he
how
signed with the Colts. I was between the Vikings and the Colts.
I did he leave? I don't know.
Will Freeze.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah. And he played against the Seahawks. Obviously. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many games he played last year. Was he hurt for a while? But it's like a PFF grade of the 42nd best guard.
It wasn't a PFF grade of B plus.
Yeah.
Suffice it to say, he played all 17 games. Played and started all 17 games.
Yeah, he showed up to work. Like that's not even an insult to Will Freeze, but it's kind of like in free agency, I do think you could sort of get worked up about things. And as you were saying about the Seahawks just having won the Super Bowl, like they're fine. They're fine right now. If Reek Woolen walks, they're fine. If Ken Walker walks, they're fine. This team is probably going to go into next year alongside the Rams as favorites to win the NFC again.
Yep. So, all right. On that note,
thanks for listening.
Definitely don't have like 20 more minutes to go here. Thanks.
It's the best 20 minutes of the podcast. Oh, that's an important enough topic of conversation that's main pod. The power outage, like that's part of the rundown now.
I think the explanation of why we didn't have a podcast last week is significant.
This power outage is now tantamount to the flicker.
It's more significant to the flicker because the power actually went out. Okay, so your trip to LA.
Oh no, you froze.
We all froze.
Oh, are we back? Are we back?
We are back.
Leave that. Oh, my internet connection is unstable. Your mom's internet connection is unstable.
I mean, it is. Undoubtedly,
she's unstable in every way.
Her internet usage is unstable in every way.
Honestly, the internet connection is the least unstable thing about her.
Oh no.
Oh, okay, well, sorry, I didn't realize we'd covered the power outage. 40 Oops All Power Outage podcast.
Well, last week was Oops All Power Outage.
I tried. I love that Noah just like poured dirt on the podcast. He was like, one power outage. He's like, well, if they'll never recover from this power outage, we've been through a whole flicker.
I mean, I've experienced 2 power outages in the last month, only one of which affected my podcasting. So,
2 power outages in the last month?
when I was in Maui, there was
Oh yeah.
an intentional shutoff of the power in the on the general Lahaina area. So,
Well, I experienced like 4 days of no power because of the bomb cyclone.
well, there you go.
You had the outage though, the outage that killed a Peltoncast.
It's the
Uh,
only time, yes, it has stopped a Peltoncast, the power outage.
anyway, so I was in LA last week, which apparently you knew, as discussed very
The
extensively.
listener always already knew, unless they started with the after the pod, which was a strange choice, but I respect it.
I feel like for this podcast, maybe you should.
Well, too late now,
I hope they fast forwarded
unless
through the
it's
Husky
not.
men's basketball talk.
Uh,
There was none. Um, anyway, so I hadn't been to
Congrats again to
LA.
Detlef Trump.
I hadn't been to LA in almost precisely 2 years, which is
Really?
a wild thing. No, it is shocking, is it
You've
not?
been to New York like 8 times in that span.
I know.
And I've been to LA at least 3 times in that
Okay,
span.
every time I say this, people bring up to me how many times they've been to LA. And I'm like, good for you.
I mean, granted,
Congrats.
most of those for like family holidays. So, it's not exactly
Still
hobnobbing
counts.
at the Beverly Wilshire like you are.
I mean, I agree it's not. But wait, so this is my point. I've been to New York so many times. I've been to DC.
You've
I've been
been
to
to New York
Baltimore.
that many times since I've been to New York.
I went to New York 3 consecutive months, I believe. I believe I went in October, November, and December to New York City. And a
But the
funny
thing about
thing
New
can
York
happen.
is it's a lot farther away than LA.
No, listen to my point. A funny thing can happen to a human being, and they can delude themselves into thinking that New York City is a better city
Wow.
than
Oh,
Los Angeles.
This is where we're going with this. Wow.
And you might return to Los Angeles for the first time in 2 years and realize that New York is the fucking worst.
So you realize this based on it being 90 degrees in February?
Yes. Yes,
seems
I
too
did.
much.
Do you know what it was doing in New York when I was in LA?
I'm aware of what the conditions have been in New York.
That is how I learned this. I literally I am telling you, people in New York tell themselves this. They're like, we love the rat race. We love the bustle of New York. We love how much is happening. It never sleeps. Newsflash, all of that stuff sucks. It's all just euphemisms for you work all the time and hate your lives. Fuck you, New York. How dare you? How dare you confuse me into thinking that you are a good city?
Wow, this is quite a take.
I argue New York was the best American city because I was confused, and that's what it does. You get there and everybody tells you how great New York is. Subway system, my ass. I'd rather sit in traffic for an hour.
At least you can open the sunroof and be in LA.
I do have to say I take back my point mildly. If the difference is riding around on subways versus being stuck in traffic in cars, I do take New York on this point.
100%.
Because the amount of times that I felt like I was going to puke by sitting in traffic in cars was like 100% of the time. I'm always, whenever I'm in a long Uber ride, Lyft, because I deleted Uber, like every progressive person back in I don't remember what year it was, 2021 something. I can't recall, but we all did it. Anyway, the amount of times that I want to just be riding along and be like, would you mind if I just drove? Would it be okay if you just sit in the passenger seat? I'll drive. I've got it from here.
First off, I don't think they would be okay with that because
no,
how much driving
be okay with...
have you done in LA?
A mild. Some though, not none. Some. Also, they have cars without drivers in LA.
I am
it's like being in the future, and the future is 90 degrees in February, and there's cars without drivers. There's robots on the street. Hollywood is there. It's amazing. There are celebrities in New York. Are
you going to tell your celebrity story?
Oh yeah, in a second. But so I remember, the first warning sign for me should have been when I went to New York in December, and it was going to be so cold in New York that I left the house without my beanie and big jacket. And I was like, I I had to turn back around when I was driving to the airport. Jan's house to go to the airport, of course. But like Jan's park and ride.
I didn't use the Jan Park and Ride this time. It was
That's a
a
miss.
real.
You whiffed on that one. But so I turned around and I was like, I would rather miss my flight than go to New York without these warm clothes accoutrements.
That is a fair position.
That should have been my first warning sign that New York is the worst.
There's never a scenario where like I need to turn around in LA and I'm flying to LA. I need to turn around. I forgot my sunglasses
Forgot my
and my
sunglasses.
sunscreen.
Also,
I mean,
the flight.
I don't know if I told you the story on the pod. Like, my last trip to LA was pretty weather affected. Did we talk on the pod about
Because of the
landing?
rain?
Yeah,
You did say that. Yeah, you had to land at a different airport.
Yeah, landing.
I have a
Ontario
counterpoint to your
instead of
story.
Santa Ana.
You want to hear my counterpoint?
What is that?
24 inches of snow,
It's a strong counterpoint.
followed by a week of freezing weather.
Where like garbage piled up on the street, it seemed.
During the freezing weather, I didn't even see that part.
That
I
seemed
couldn't
to
see
be a
it.
thing.
Too much snow. Anyway, so that should have been my first warning sign that New York was bad. And so I'm in LA, at the Beverly Wilshire. I guess we're talking about this, right?
You're talking about this.
Where I hang out. No, with the people that we were meeting with, they were like, my usual table. It was a good bit. I really like went in there and I was like wearing a t-shirt. I had a hoodie and I was like, we're music people. You know what I mean? It's like at big agencies where like the film people have to be in suits and all of those people, but the music people get to be in t-shirts and shit like that. That's us at the Beverly Wilshire. But guess what? Everybody was dressed like us.
That's the on trend thing now.
It's not even just the on trend thing. It's just a chill city because there aren't a bunch of fucking uptight banking people who run your city. It's the worst. It is the worst in New York. I'm out there. I'm eating at the Vanderpump restaurants. I'm at Tom Tom.
You went to Tom Tom?
Yeah. Do you know about Tom Tom?
I do know about Tom Tom.
I was all in. I felt like a Bravo celebrity being in LA.
This is quite a take.
I'm walking by bars where they're doing season premiere viewing, packed, 1 in, 1 out viewing, outdoor bars. Although I heard this place is pretty shady. Outdoor bars, so packed for the season premiere of Survivor 50, which apparently was like 2 hours long. I didn't go in. Walked by. I was in West Hollywood, of all places that I was staying. It was wild. But like, it also meant that everywhere I was trying to get to was an hour-long car ride. But that is the kind of thing that was happening. An outdoor bar was showing Survivor 50, and there were so many people. It was massive. There were hundreds of people in there. It was so busy that there was a line of people waiting to get in. It's the best city on earth.
I'm going to another bar before I'm waiting in line.
No, what if you want to watch Survivor 50? People were cheering like it was the fucking Super Bowl. There were more people in there than there were at the Rams Super Bowl parade.
That's probably true.
People, I'm not even saying this.
I'll tell you this for New York.
Exaggeratedly.
Let me tell you, they'll attend a parade there.
Well, they have to win something first. LA wins things all the time.
Which granted Dodgers fans, I'm sure.
Yeah. What was the last major
numbers,
championship that New York won? Liberty? Did they win one?
Liberty did win one in 2024, so that is almost certainly the most recent New York championship. The Gotham FC. They also won in 2000.
You're making up teams now? Okay. No, of the big four sports, what was the last championship in New York? It was the New York Giants, right?
I don't know when the Yankees last won the World Series.
Oh, I guess maybe. It's been a long time for the Yankees, I think. In LA, they do that shit all the time. And you know what? Their teams actually play in the state of California.
This is true. Apparently it was the Giants in 2012. Yankees last won in 2009. Rangers 94. Devils 2003. If you're
catch up with Seattle, New York. We do that shit all the time here. Anyway, I'm in the Beverly Wilshire with the people at their usual table. And I walked back from the bathroom And I look over and I'm like, oh, I recognize that person. Because I don't know. When you see a famous person, you're like, I know them.
Well,
And I was
I've,
like,
I've
oh,
told my story about when I sat behind Julio Rodriguez at the Rain playoff game, and I was like, how do I know that guy? Do I know him from Storm games?
I do love
And
that.
then it took me a while, like, oh, it's Julio Rodriguez. All because he wasn't wearing a hat.
That was my exact experience. This person doesn't normally wear a hat, but
Granted.
Steve Nash.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Steve. And then I look over, having dinner with Dirk Nowitzki right there in Los Angeles because nobody wants to be in New York.
Well, I think it's mostly because Amazon Prime happens to have their NBA studios in LA rather than New York.
Are they on the
That's why
Amazon
they
Prime broadcast?
Yes, that's why they were there together.
Oh, interesting.
And that's why I joked to you that it's too bad Zach Lowe wasn't with them.
I had literally no idea what you were talking about.
Yes, because he is also a part of their pre and post game shows, but not every week as he remains based
comment, but I'm not
in the greater New York area.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. Anyway, so I got an album from an artist on Friday morning, and I was like, I need to listen to this. I just walked around Hollywood for like 45 minutes, listened to it twice. It was going to be 90 degrees that day. Do you know how good of shape I would be in if I lived in LA?
You're blaming Seattle's weather? How much exercise do you think that you get in the summer in Seattle?
All the time, every day. I'm telling you,
I guess you were playing a lot
outside
more baseball with your children in the summer.
So casually. I walked 3.3 miles just walking around aimlessly.
I'm aware of all of this. I've never argued. I think that everyone should live wherever they would like to live. Well, not. Yeah, I think that people should have the freedom to choose the kind of city that they want. And some people prefer a New York style of city.
Imagine a world without borders, man.
Where that's transit.
Anybody could live wherever they wanted to live.
If some people prefer to live in New York where the transit is better and there's stuff.
That's it. Period. That's all you had. Where the transit is better.
There's a higher density, so you don't need to go as far to get from one place to another as in the greater LA area.
You just work all day and then ride a train to go work more.
Fewer earthquakes. And I think people
on.
spend time not working in New York.
No, they don't.
You never do anything but work when you're in New York?
I mean, literally the reason I'm in New York is to work. Here's what I'll say.
But I'm pretty sure you're enjoying yourself at times there as well.
A lot less Vanderpump restaurants, but a bacon, egg, and cheese on every corner is a thing I can't stand for.
Yes, that's very fair. They may love bagels, so I'm sure there are good bagels in LA. That's not my kind of thing. Anyways,
I came back, my skin looked amazing.
You know that I'm a West Coast person, so obviously I'm going to choose LA.
I feel like at some point later in this podcast, I'll get mad and argue that New York's the best city on earth. But
no, earlier in this podcast.
Oh, sorry, earlier. Who knows how long the post-pod talk's going to last for?
Is there more? You say
don't have
all
more?
After the pod.
I also you complimented me for being trending on roster this week, which was it was like in every situation as a manager you have to be a behind the scenes person and be like, I don't want anybody to like pay attention to me, but the Peltoncast is a safe space, and there I could be like, this is what we do it for.
Because you're allowed to talk about how much you like sports and your desire for fame.
That's why it's a safe space. Your desire for personal fame. That's why I named the podcast after myself.
It's named after, the Carcino cast wouldn't quite have worked the same way. Because you at one point didn't have Carcino in your name, and
That's true.
We both had Pelton in our name at that point, although now we both have Carcino.
In New York, I'm constantly being like, oh, my brother is ESPN senior writer Kevin Pelton. And in LA, I knew no one cared. I'm like stats, and they're like Kobe, and I'm like, yeah, yes.
Sounds like Point New York to me.
What?
Sounds like Point New York to me.
Your name didn't come up all trip.
Even when you saw Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash, you
The
didn't
two
mention
people that I was with, I was like, I whispered it. I like pulled my coworker close to me, and I was like, psst. And I was like, that's Steve Nash, because I didn't even see Dirk at that point. And she was like, I got nothing, or whatever. Were you going to make a point? You looked like you were going to.
Well, you could have brought up to Dirk Nowitzki the time that he got upset about me calling him slow-footed in one of my
I told you
ESPN
your
player
name
profiles.
doesn't come up in LA. Also, I love the idea that I'm going up to Dirk Nowitzki.
I don't think you're actually
explaining explaining that my brother is this basketball writer who he certainly has not heard of.
He
And then
knows
being
Hollinger
like-
way better. When Hollinger went to the Grizzlies, he got a tweet like "Say it ain't so" from Dirk. Say it ain't so.
Wow.
No more Hollinger snark.
Damn.
Yeah.
You only hope to get one of those. That's your version of wanting to be on trending on roster. Just being like, oh, I'm just a stats person, just behind the scenes, but you're actually secretly hoping for the hate tweets from the players.
I don't want the hate tweets. But do I want positive tweets from NBA players? Yes.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, so I didn't bring that up to Dirk, as you can imagine, by not talking to him. I was for Joey Corgan. I was like, that's Steve Nash. I felt like Steve Nash was famous enough that everybody would know him.
He has been in a Nelly Furtado song.
And then I like texted a friend, and they were like, there was line like MVP like Nash, something like that.
Yeah.
And then the two dudes that I was with after, because they're like a little bit younger, and I was like, are either of you basketball fans at all? And then I didn't bring you up. I was like, are either of you basketball fans at all? And they were like, yeah, a little. And I was like, that was Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki. And they're like, oh, they were like, we have to text dad. And I was like, that's how you know I'm old. They were like,
note,
dad is going to love this. We're doing our
whole.
whole St. John's podcast right now. No, not actually.
What happened?
Was it a scary one? Wait, come here.
Georgetown was 15.5-point favorites.
Georgetown underdogs.
Or underdogs.
I was gonna say I don't think Georgetown. I really just
Johnny
love the
Dad.
Big East for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't
Of
know
course.
what
All
happens.
about your love for Big East.
Wait, I still do not like New York City as a preference, but somehow do like St. John's basketball. Okay, so the Johnnies were 15-point favorites over Georgetown.
Luca is on the pod now.
And they were down by like 12 at some point in the second half. Yeah, but we came back and had a nice little 3-point win. So I think we have one more before the end of the year.
Yes, Seton Hall at Seton Hall on Friday.
Oh yeah, they got no shot
Long road
Is that who
trip
it is?
to Seton Hall.
Is it at Seton Hall?
at Seton
Yeah.
Hall. Yeah. What's gonna happen next year with the Johnnies and UConn?
In what way?
Where are we
What?
playing that one?
Carnesk Arena? Is that what we're talking?
Carneseca.
Carneseca, baby. We're bringing it back. Fuck Madison Square Garden. We take it back to Queens.
It was a 32-point non-home court advantage for
Yes.
the Johnnies.
Yes, it was a 32-point non-home court advantage. The only reason that we lost that one. New York's team, baby. Best city in the world. I told you later in the podcast I'd get it in. We are New York's team.
You did say that.
You have nothing else to say, Luca? How was Marco's choir concert?
It was really boring.
Oh no.
Almost as
Oh,
boring
no.
as Husky men's basketball. Am I right, people?
Oh dear. On that note,
Okay, thanks for listening again.
for real this time.
Yeah, you're supposed to leave now. Go Johnnies is what he left it on.